Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, June 13th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. A student of the Kittels Government School has topped the first cohort of grade 6 students who sat the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, the CPEA. Lauren Jones received an average of 95.4% and also accumulated a 100% mark for mathematics along with Khalil Ashton of the Lodge Village Government School. Taking the second position is Eliane Bailey of the Windsor Primary School with 95.2%. There was a tie for third place between D'Angelo Dick and Aaron Isaac Horn, both of the Union Methodist Primary. The other top performing schools were the Sugar Mill Academy, the Bowley Government, Kingstown Preparatory and the Caliaquo Anglican School. In the external assessments subject performance, Tyrese Lewis of the Mustique Government earned 100% for science, while Odian Hamlet of the Bowley Government and Tiana Roberts of the Calder Government earned 96% for English. According to a release from the Ministry of Education, the students' final scores were derived from the aggregate scores of both components of the CPEA, the external assessment, which consisted of multiple choice tests in mathematics, science and language arts, and the school-based assessments, which comprised a project, writing portfolio, a book report, as well as teacher tests, pupil-made tests, and can-do skills in mathematics, science, language arts, and civics. The ministry says the preliminary results indicate that the proportion of students who met the prescribed standard was 78.08%, and that of the 912 females who were assessed, 798 met the standard, while of the 1,022 males, 712 met the standard. 39 schools, according to the ministry, recorded a pass rate in excess of 80%. The Scout Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as part of activities to mark its 100th anniversary, began a 3-day retreat. Today, Chief Commissioner of the local Scouts Association, Adrian Wiley, says over a month ago there was an audit done which looked at best practices by which the World Scouts Bureau expects all Scout associations to follow. He says based on the audit results, the local association has been tried, tested, and found wanting. According to Wiley, they are now looking to dissect the operations of the association and see how best they can move forward for the next 100 years of scouting in SVG. He says it is important that as an organization, they do not just exist,
but that we fulfill our purpose, that we live according to our promise and our law. I am happy to see all those participants here this morning. I hope that we're going to use the next 2 days. Take it seriously. Let us constructively and effectively plan and chart the way forward for Scouting in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Scouting creates a better St. Vincent. Scouting creates a better world.
Meanwhile, Operations Executive for the Caribbean area, Ronald Richardson, says St. Vincent and the Grenadines is among 15 countries around the world which will participate in a preliminary testing of the global support tool put together by the World Scouting Bureau.
And this is important because, number one, the size of the country. Number two, you are celebrating 100 years of scouting. In my view, number three, we need to improve our methods of operation. So I found that given those factors, it would be a good time for St. Vincent and the Grenadines to do this assessment. Whatever happened in the past 100 years, we are not responsible for it. What will happen in the next 20 years, we have that responsibility. So my idea was, let us get an assessment as to where we are. Let us see the points of strengths and weaknesses within the association, and let us decide, as a responsible organization, the way forward.
Commissioner of Police Michael Charles says that he does not foresee any potential problems in getting the former registrar Tamara Gibson Marks back in the country should any evidence of wrongdoing on her part surface. It was reported that Gibson Marks left the state shortly after handing in her resignation on the advice of the Attorney General Judith Jones Morgan. According to the Commissioner, once any wrongdoing has been identified, then the Attorney General will file the relevant paperwork. The Commissioner also told SVG-TV News that he received a copy of the application made by the Attorney General to have the former registrar disbarred because of improper and unprofessional conduct. Persons from various sectors throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines who collect and analyze damage assessment data and information following the impact of a hazard will participate in a National Disaster Loss and Damage Assessment Workshop next week. This workshop will be conducted by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, with support from the UNDP Barbados, the OECS, the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, the World Bank, and CIMA, the Research Foundation of Italy. The workshop falls under the UNDP program of strengthening public investment in disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation in the Eastern Caribbean. The objectives of the workshop are to develop a national damage assessment database to capture damage and losses from the impact of hazards and to support risk identification through the systematic collection of evidence based on disaster-related losses. The workshop will take place at NEMO's conference room during the period June 16th to 18th. The opening ceremony will begin at 9 a.m. on June 16th. Lightning-fast internet on mobile phones is no longer a figment of the imagination for persons across the world, and Vincentians are no exception. Last evening was a historic one not only for mobile telecommunication provider Digicel, but also for St. Vincent and the Grenadines and its technological progress. After 11 years in SVG, Digicel launched its 4G network. After the ribbon was cut, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves officially declared the launch of the Digicel 4G technology at the Balcom Estate at Indian Bay. Digicel's country manager John Gidari says the company's latest investment in SVG is in excess of $7 million and solidifies the company's commitment to attracting businesses here, even more so with what he describes as the fastest and most reliable 4G technology in the country.
There are more than 5 billion telephone subscriptions in the world. Over 85% of the people on this planet. No other device ever created, not cars, not radios, not credit cards. Nothing has ever been so demanded in the world. 1/3 of the world's population uses the internet, and incredibly so, roughly half of those people access the internet via their mobile phone. High-speed internet, therefore, is no longer a novelty. Our commitment to our communities are already reliant and growing even more dependent on high-speed internet to access and stay connected with friends and family. We are now in 2014, and that reality is here today.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Consumer Affairs, Information and Communications Technology Camilo Gonsalves says the launch of Digicel's 4G is much welcomed in the development of SVG, and says he will immediately start pushing for Digicel to make the next big step.
We believe that 4G, this 4G is just the beginning, because those of you who are techies know that there is a faster 4G than this 4G, called 4G LTE, which is as fast as the broadband that you will get at home on your Wi-Fi network. So we applaud Digicel for this step, but already we'll begin pressuring them to make the next step, which is to take us into the stratosphere of internet broadband speeds. I'm grateful for the opportunity to celebrate today with Digicel, what is a great occasion, and we look forward to celebrating with them even more in the future.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves thanked Digicel for its contribution in SVG's development, adding that Digicel Chairman Dennis O'Brien will soon be partnering with the government in the rollout exercise of the 12,500 Acer laptops to secondary school students and teachers.
And when the other 1,000 laptops come for us to address the community college sometime in September with the laptops. He's been working, and his team, they've been working with the Ministry of Telecoms and with Camilo and all the technical persons there, because as both, well, as the local manager and Jerry and Camilo made the point, and Dennis O'Brien made it in his message to us, that they want to see the extension and the broadening of the internet facilities, enhance access, enhance speed. And we look forward to working with them and with others in this very important exercise.
And also celebrating last evening was the younger Gonzalez, as yesterday was his birthday. At yesterday's event, a number of persons received special gifts from Digicel, including the Technology Minister, Governor General Sir Frederick Ballantyne, and the Prime Minister.
It will be given to the Prime Minister here and loaded with all that is necessary for him to enjoy the 4G Digicel 4G network.
I would like the Commissioner of Police to note that I'm getting this and to keep Eloise and Isis and others from taking it from me. Thank you very much, Digicel.
Bernard Dr. Shallow, a 45-year-old laborer of Barley who resides in Kingstown, was earlier this week sentenced to 1 month in jail after being arrested and charged for stealing items from Harmony Investments Minimart in Kingstown. Shallow reappeared in court yesterday, charged for escaping lawful custody and assaulting an auxiliary police constable at the Kingstown Magistrates Court on June 11th. Reports are that around 12:30 p.m. after his sentence was imposed on Shallow, he was asked to sit in the prisoner's dock, and while there he began to behave in a disorderly manner. Senior Magistrate Rishan Brown Matthias instructed the police to then take him to the holding cell, and while he was being escorted to the cell, Shallow defecated on himself, used some of the feces, and threw it at the auxiliary officer, who took evasive action, and it was at that time Shallow made his escape. He was later recaptured in the Pauls Avenue area. He appeared in the Kingstown court yesterday and pleaded guilty to both charges and was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months for both charges, which will run consecutively. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this with Carnival Beat. Voltage Mass Band is calling on masqueraders to come out on July 8th and be a part of its all-inclusive package. Recently, Jamisha Wright visited the mass camp and in this report tells us more about the band's production for 2014.
Kingsley Collis, band's leader of the High Voltage Mass Band, told SVG-TV News that technology, particularly the computer, will be used by the band to create its 10 sections for Vincimas 2014.
So you have 10 sections. How many are children?
Well, we have 2 children costumes, one boy, 1 girl.
And the others are adults?
And all the others are adults.
Well, walk us through the section.
All right, this is the first mass on the board. It's called iRobot. This section is the boys. The next section is tech fantasy. You know, this section is more like for graphic arts and things. Even notice it look like something that you create. Is a creative section, you know, just create something, you know, not just like you just build a mass. The next section is from the program we call iCloud. They're keeping up to date with time and, you know, current events now. Next one is called arcade. Instead of we seeing video games, you know, call out all the video games. This is why I'm saying some of the section have more than one meanings, right? A computer. The program is Matrix. This section is Matrix. All computers read zeros and ones. Matrix is this section. The section underneath is called website. You know, any address you go to, website, www. You know, so that is that section. And this section is all trade online. So we call this one e-commerce. This section, you know, all computers does have virus. Some viruses are good and some are definitely bad. So this is virus. That's the mail section at the band. And as I was saying about the social media, social network, this one is called network. And for the girls, is antivirus, the children, last but not least.
Okay.
So we have 10 beautiful sections.
All right. And what are you using for a section of the bands?
Well, the section of the band is going to be virus.
Tell us how your registrations have been going.
Well, we start building our costume just about a month and a half ago. So we are a little behind in terms of registration. But it just started picking up. And we're looking forward to see, because of the cost of the costumes, the people are gravitating to us, you know.
Collis says the band will be catering for some 350 persons. Reporting for Carnival Beat, I am Jamisha Wright.
See